Here is going to be my body, with and without measurements, okay? And then this is gonna be my fundus. That's exactly what it looks like. Just round, anechoic. Anechoic. Okay? So, this is what it's gonna look like. Lateral, mid, with and without measurements, okay, and medial. Okay? I'm not gonna know the difference between medial and lateral unless you tell me. Okay? If you're doing medial and you're really lateral, I won't know the difference. Okay? So be sure if you can't remember that you do this. Okay? Because I might have a polyp at my mid. Okay? A polyp is non-mobile. It will usually have a stem on it, so it will have color. Okay, so if you call me medial, because I see this, but I see this, then I know that this is lateral because you're telling me that lateral is where you saw the polyp, but I'm seeing it at medial. Does that make sense? So don't lie, because there's ways for us to check it. And the radiologist will call you on it. If the less mistakes you make, the more confidence the radiologist has for you. The more confidence the radiologist has for you, the more responsibility they're going to give you, because you've proven yourself. Like if the doctor says, well, you know, Ms. Shepherd, what is this right here? You know what, doctor, I wasn't focused in on that. I was looking at the inferior wall. Let me go see if I can duplicate this again, and I'll let you know. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna reproduce this image. I'm gonna dual screen it, and I'm gonna show him, yes, it's real. It's in transverse 2. I'm sorry I overlooked that. My eyes were focused on something else. Own up to your mistakes, because we're all human. We all make mistakes. None of us is perfect, and none of us should act like we are. Okay? Because it's easy for us to overlook. We might have been just talking to the patient. We might have been thinking about what we're going to buy at the grocery store that night. You know, things happen, and we do overlook stuff.
Maybe the patient is just bothering you.
Could be. Okay. So, if the patient's bothering you, okay, what am I going to do? They just chatter. Because when patients get nervous, they chatter. Some people cry, some people talk, some people get really, really quiet. You'll learn the different personalities. But if I can't get them to stop talking, turn your head to the left. I need you to be quiet for just a few seconds while I look at this gallbladder. We want to make sure everything's okay. And then I'll show you what I looked at afterwards. Well, that looks like a hole. Well, that's because that's your gallbladder and it's full of fluid and it shows up black on ultrasound. Well, did you see anything wrong? Well, I'm not a doctor, I can't tell you. Okay? If they have bad breath, taking a deep breath. Because we do a lot of homeless. And yeah, so have them turn their head to the left, taking a deep breath, blow your breath out. I have them breathing so much that they don't talk to me. Okay? Taking a deep, and this is how I do it. Taking a deep breath, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, let your breath out. And when you can, taking a deep breath, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, let your breath out. And when you can, go ahead and take in a deep breath. Take that deep breath in a little bit bigger. Yes, that's just right. Just go ahead and take in a deep breath. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Now let your breath slowly out. Because what's happening? I'm breathing when they're breathing. So I know how long they've been holding their breath. Okay? I'm talking to them. They don't want to interrupt me because that's rude. Because we're brought up that way. When someone's talking, you don't interrupt them, right? So if you keep them, if you're constantly talking, you're holding your breath at the same time they're holding their breath. You're conversing with them, and they don't have time to ask you any questions.
I should learn this technique.
Yeah. But you're going to get your own techniques. Because in September, you're going to start going to the clinics. And mine and Mr. JT's and Miss Patel's way is not the only way. You're going to learn all kinds of tricks. Just don't take any shortcuts. Because you're also going to learn shortcuts out there. And you're not allowed to do those. You can after you graduate. I don't care what you do after you graduate. But you represent Harris Health for the rest of your career. And people call the school asking for graduates because we do have a good reputation. And don't make me come and get you.
And don't make me come and get you.
Yeah, don't make me come and get you. Okay, so I don't know what all we've covered because I didn't look at the PowerPoint. So let's look and see what we did. We still have 40,000 months. Okay. This is one way to do it. I'm just refreshing my brain too as I'll go along. Okay, so the gallbladder. The gallbladder is it's peritoneal. It's in that big sac that's our Ziploc bag that holds our internal organs. So it's peritoneal. It hangs, there's a fossa on the back of the liver that has like a little groove. We call it a fossa. Just like the kidney, the renal fossa, the gallbladder has a fossa. So God made our organs where everything fits like a puzzle. Now, we have all the organs, but if I have a short, fat person, my gallbladder is going to be what? It's going to be higher. Okay? If I have a tall, skinny person, my gallbladder can sometimes be in the pelvis. Okay? Now, the gallbladder might lay like this, it might lay like that, it might lay like that. It has all kinds of shapes and sizes. It's up to you to get that transverse, to make it as circular as possible. Okay? So it is peritoneal. The main function of the gallbladder. The main function of the gallbladder is to hold bile. That bile is what helps us with our digestion. Okay?
I read somewhere, its function is to concentrate the blood.
Correct, and I'm fixing to explain that to you. Remember we talked about the diet? Okay. So, I'm going on a cruise next week. I'm not eating anything. All I'm gonna do is drink water. Because I wanna lose 10 pounds to get in that bikini. Okay? So here's my gallbladder. Okay? Day 1 goes by, the gallbladder gets bigger. Day 2 goes by, the gallbladder gets bigger. Day 3 goes by, the gallbladder gets bigger. Now, my bile has already been in there for 3 days. There's been no movement because I haven't eaten. Okay? So now my bile is getting thick like syrup. Okay? It's getting thick. After it gets thick, it starts building up granules of calcium. Okay? I'm still not eating. Okay. I'm still not eating. Now I'm on day 11. So the bile in there, remember it's already thick and kind of sticky. Who's had to throw up green stuff when they're sick?
It's bitter.
Nobody? It's bitter, it's green, it's thick like snot. That's bile. Okay? So, now it's sticky. So, next thing I know, those little granules are now turning into stones.
Wow.
Why? Because it's concentrated. When you make juice out of a can, how many cans of juice do you have to add to it? Oh my gosh, y'all never made juice out of a can? You add 2 cans of water to a concentrated juice. Okay? Now, if you wanted to make a pie, then don't add water to that concentrated juice. Just use the juice. Because you can cook it down, it's gonna turn syrupy, and then you can pour it in a pie, put Cool Whip on it inside a pie crust, and you've got a pie. Okay? Okay. But if you're gonna drink it, if you add 1 can of it, it's gonna be pretty stout. But if you add 2 cans of water, you're gonna be able to drink it like Kool-Aid. Very high in sugar. Okay? So whenever we talk about concentrated, it is sitting in the gallbladder getting thicker and thicker and thicker. Okay?
But there are other reasons that cause gout.
I have stone. I could just be hereditary. You know, there's lots of reasons for stones. Okay? Yeah, go ahead. Okay, lots of reasons for stones. Yeah. Okay. Normal measurement of a gallbladder, less than 10. 10 what?
Centimeters.
Centimeters, less than 10 centimeters.